So, more discussion? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Steve.
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Joni, Mandy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
and my vote is yes, passes 8-0. All right, I will turn this over to Tom.
All right, the first seat we're going to be voting for is president. So I'm going to open nominations for school board president.
I move to nominate James Bays II as board president.
I'll second it.
Second by Laura. All right, I have to ask 3 times. Are there any additional nominations for school board president? Any additional nomination for school board president? Hearing none, that nomination is closed. And because we have one candidate, can we do a roll call vote for board president? And I will start this vote with Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Mandy.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
And Jim.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes 8-0.
All right, well, thank you, everyone.
It'll go back to Mr. Bays at this point in time.
All right, moving on to 2.2. Vice President. Do I have nominations for Vice President?
I nominate Lena Hamilton.
Second.
Got a motion by Jeff, second by Lena, Joni to nominate Lena. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will vote, and we will start this with Joni.
Yes.
Mandy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and my vote is yes. And Lena, would you like to vote?
Yes.
Yes, and Priscilla?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Congratulations, Lena. It passes 9-0.
What was your name again?
Yeah, Yana, I guess. All right, moving on to Board Clerk 2.3.
I'll nominate Mandy Stanley.
I'll second that.
All right, I got a motion, or a nomination by Lena and seconded by Jeff to nominate Mandy. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for clerk? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
My vote is yes. Priscilla,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
and Joni,
Yes.
and Mandy.
Abstain.
Okay, passes 9-0, or 8-0 with one abstention. Sorry. All right. Moving on to Board Treasurer 2.4. Do I have a nomination?
Nominate Jeff.
Got a motion by Joni to nominate Jeff, second by Lena. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? For Board Treasurer, we will start this with Laura.
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Priscilla,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Joni,
Yes.
Mandy,
Yes.
and my vote is yes. Jeff?
I abstain.
All right, passes 8-0 with one abstention. All right. Moving on to nominations for the CISA 5 representative. Jeff is currently in that position.
And I nominate Jeff.
Okay. Bobby? Second by Joni. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Seeing none, we will vote for the CISA 5 representative. We'll start this vote with Bobby.
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Lena?
Yes.
Joni?
Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And Jeff?
Abstain.
Okay. 8-2-0-2-1. All right, 6.2, nomination and vote on the CISA 5 alternate representative.
I'll nominate. Who is it now?
I don't think we had one.
I'll nominate Steve.
Okay. Lena, do I have a second?
I do.
Priscilla? Thank you. Got a nomination for Steve from Lena and Priscilla. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for the CISA 5? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Priscilla.
Yes.
My vote will be yes. Lena?
Yes.
Joni?
Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve?
Abstain.
Passes 8-0-1. All right, nomination for the WASBA delegate. I have been the WASBA delegate, but I would like to turn it over to somebody else this year.
Can I just add on to that? Just so you know, to be the WASBA delegate, you have to go to the convention. So if you don't
Wednesday.
plan on going to the convention in January, don't put your name in.
Yep, it's Wednesday afternoon for 3 hours. So do we have nominations?
I'm the alternate right now. I couldn't.
Okay, I will nominate Joni.
I'll second that.
Joni? Any other nominations for the WASBA delegate? Any other nominations for the WASBA delegate? Are there any other nominations for the WASBA delegate? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Lena.
Yes.
Joni?
Abstain.
Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 8-0 with 1 abstention. All right, we can vote on the alternate delegate for the WASBA convention. Do I have a nomination?
I'll nominate Bobby.
Okay. Lena? Do I
Second.
have a second
Second.
by Joni for Bobby? Do I have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Joni.
Yes.
Oh, wrong person. There we go. Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Abstain.
Steve?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Lena?
Yes.
So we passed 8-0 with 1 abstention. All right. Thank you, everybody, for those nominations. Moving on to new business. Designate an official dispository. This is our bank right now. We have one community bank, BMO Harris Bank, Associated Bank, and the local governmental investment pool as our local depositories of the school district. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mandy, second by Bobby. Discussion. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Mandy.
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Priscilla,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Joni,
Yes.
and my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. We are at 3.2. Designation and vote on official newspaper.
I'll move to approve Adams Friendship Times Reporter as the official newspaper of the school district.
Second by Laura. Motion is to approve the Adams Friendship Times Reporter as the official newspaper of the school district. Discussion. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Jeff.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Mandy.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, 3.3, designate and vote on the official radio station. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve WCWI FM 106.1 as the official radio station for the school district.
Got a motion by Mandy? All right, second by Bobby. All right, motion to approve WCWI FM 106.1 as the official radio station for the school district. Discussion. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. And with that, we come to 4.1. Do I have any objection to adjournment? Seeing none?
To adjourn.
I would just like to mention that last year during the school year, we developed two legislative, what positions did we call them? Do you recall, Jeff?
Like legislative liaison or?
Yeah.
Two, and we neglected to put that on this particular agenda, so you'll see it next month.
Okay.
And I can't, remember, Bobby, was that you and Joni?
Me and Joni.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have, was it three? Were you there? Okay.
That's why we all went to Madison.
Okay, all right, well, all right, I'm not trying to exclude anyone, obviously.
We will vote on the next.
We tried to triple team them, but it didn't. So we need four.
Right.
The more the merrier.
It's open to anybody, so, and what those people did, what Bobby and Joni and Jeff did, they were in Madison a couple of times and the day at the Capitol, where we got to meet with our elected officials, and then also when the Public Education Network held basically a news conference, they were there as well. So that was very nice, and Adams was very well represented at those events, so thank you guys.
All right. Sounds good. Do that next month.
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned at 6:44.
Hey, Risa. You're gonna have to get the list. You're gonna have to get the list. I would.
I also read the convention delegate and what that was for.
WASBA, it's just the,
Yeah, I can. They vote on resolutions that come from
Okay.
school boards from across the state.
Okay.
A vote.
And then I had the name, one community day, Rainbow, and one,
we got through it last year.
usually it's.
Or if you go down, you gotta just click on it and move it over.
Okay.
So maybe we can.
All right, as long as it's lit up.
Animal.
Yeah, I've done it for a lot of years. It's time for somebody else to have the
I
fun.
got that and I got the radio and all that other stuff, so I think I got it.
Going around Edwardsburg.
I won't cancel.
You have to get over into that window. Put your finger in that window
It was.
and then.
No, I don't want to open it. I'm talking about,
Candy stash.
it won't come.
You were gonna make your way in there.
I got time, so.
I know what you're saying. I'm just talking about clicking on it and nothing's happening.
Why I do it.
I probably don't need any more candy, but.
Nice selection there for you.
Maybe I'm supposed to get out of the other one?
I don't know, I've had all kinds of windows open.
This never happened before. Oh, boy. Let's see.
You know, it was warmer here yesterday than in Atlanta.
I believe it. One year, it was warmer here in the Midwest than it was in Las Vegas, which is very unusual.
Yeah. It was 57 in Atlanta yesterday and raining. Do you meet and greet at the breakfast?
Here it goes.
That's what the big push is for that number.
From,
I know,
ESPA sent me an email later and said that they were the runner-up for the national.
What's the runner-up? Who's the runner-up for the national?
A couple, are they said that they.
The what?
They have Land Street.
That would be awesome.
That last fall. So if we move to 12,600 across the state, majority of us would be within 10%. There are those outliers like Gibraltar and that get 23,000 per pupil. There are those outliers, but the rest of us would be within 10%.
because they covered all of that.
Yeah. You found some value out of it?
I went last year, this is my second year, and they bring up stuff like that, and then there was, at the end of the day, when everybody left, I think only 25-30% of people stayed for the last.
Not too big of a handful. Pretty good pile in there from the last time.
Trying to stay away.
I don't.
Correct. Both, one is an administrator now,
You got any questions or
yeah,
gotta figure it out?
and then the other thing was to get a lot of contacts with.
Latest meetings, right?
Yep.
The state. I ended up being a lady from Kansas.
I'm good. Wow.
People that are town council, or city council, they-
If you're interested in that, we'll make sure that you're part of it.
It's good, I was trying to give you a little bit.
Dinner of Champions.
Colorado.
You have to go there.
She came home and was home.
I watched part of that. Kind of
No, they're not gonna rush to
She's working on her master's,
dirty,
a couple grand, and so
third one all the time.
she has one more year then.
Thank goodness.
So she's not coming home for the summer. She's gotta stay out there.
Keep getting pictures of families.
This is a derby.
Helping it.
Caribbean, yeah.
There's the third one. What's the third race?
I know Carly Beaver's staying in Hawaii for the summer too, because she got a paid internship and like, that was rough, but
It's like 80 degrees every day.
Worse.
Oh, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Oh, 3-horse race.
Yeah, she had her 2 weeks off for.
What's the third one?
That
one stay.
She's like, I'm not gonna fly.
It's
One of those, as soon as you
Yeah.
Right during the fair, so she's.
Second one. I'm not running the second one.
Kentucky Derby.
Sovereignty. Trouble with his foot.
It's open except for the. I'll do it.
All right. It is 7 o'clock and I'm gonna call the regular board meeting to order. Has the meeting been properly noticed?
Yes, it has been.
All right. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make that a motion.
Second.
Motion by Bobby, second by Joni. To adopt the agenda, any discussion? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla. Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Mandy.
yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, moving into the reports. Student council, I do not see Layla tonight, so we'll move on. There are no public comments. So we will move on to 2.3, our auditor's report.
And they're going to be joining us online, hopefully.
Want to just,
There should be coming. Joe, are you connected? I'm sorry.
She's just not on, so.
screen, that's me. But nobody else is in here.
should we just move on to 2.4 for right now?
Why don't we move on? Yep.
Okay, we will move on to 2.4, and so we have our teaching and learning report.
Inside the agenda, if you open up 2.4, you'll see the link to the teaching and learning report this evening.
Did have a keyboard over there.
Oh, we needed it to get it hooked in.
We need to go back to her.
Sorry, Joe, I know we're going to go back and forth as we wait for our guests online.
We didn't actually need to go back. If you just want to go to the board agenda, it is linked live on the board agenda.
I didn't do this on this.
Technology is going to make all of our lives easier, Joe.
Great.
Yeah.
Next one.
You're up on screen, Heather.
That would be my assistant, Joe. Okay. This is linked in the agenda, so hopefully you guys can get to it too. So we have a few things that we want to talk about tonight. The first thing is we want to give you a little bit of an update on Act 20. And I don't know if you can see that live link there, Joe, the hyperlink.
Yes.
It's like this big on his screen, just so you guys are aware. You can't really see it. So, this is small too. But as part of Act 20, one of the things that we need to do with our elementary students is we need to ensure that when they have a personal reading plan, we have to help them understand the goals that are as part of the reading plan itself. And so this is really just a flow chart for what we do with students who are in 3rd grade moving into 4th grade. Okay, so the local CISA developed this to assist us in thinking about, how to move forward if our students have a PRP and what needs to happen within that at the end of the year.
And I think, so as she had said, came from CISA, if you're looking at the link, so we kind of, when we're doing our PRPs, and we as a building decided that our students need to meet benchmark proficiencies twice. When we think about dismissing them from a PRP. And the one big question this is going to help us answer is we never knew what to do at the end of 3rd grade with them, because their requirement, one of the requirements that you'll see on here is one, they have to pass the reading portion of the forward. Okay, but beyond that, if they don't pass that, then kind of their PRP will continue until they pass the reading portion of the forward in 7th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade, whatever. So this is giving us kind of that narrow scope on what we're going to do when we answer questions at the end for PRPs. So you can see that if a student doesn't have a PRP, they're meeting their expectations on that forward exam, so that's that green side. And then if they do kind of meet that, we are still going to be doing communication with families. If they don't meet those expectations on the 4th grade and beyond, it gives us what we should be doing. Continuing to provide that universal instruction, providing any necessary interventions, which the middle school does, which we continue to do in 4th grade already, and any other supports that the student may need as we go through that. And then on the yes side, if they, yes, they have a PRP, just going through and answering those separate questions. I mean, our biggest piece is really meeting those forward expectations, which according to CISA, May 27th, we should be getting those results back, which will help us.
We're all kind of taking internal bets as to whether or not that's going to happen, but we'll see if we get those results. They're usually way later than that, so we're hoping.
Well into the summer, and just trying to get those back, look at those as we begin looking at what students in 3rd grade currently have a personal reading plan that need to be transferred to 4th grade.
Joe, can you go back to the slideshow? Thank you. So we wanted to just share that piece with you because next month at your regular meeting, you will be presented with a policy that,
Sorry, it should be on it.
We're still in the flow chart.
I don't control that.
Just click on the tab to the left,
Top right X,
Yep,
get rid of that.
Oh, you're done with this?
yes. There we go.
Everything.
I know, we had headphones on. So you'll see where it says next steps regarding policy. As part of Act 20, we are required to provide a promotion retention policy from 3rd grade to 4th grade. And recognizing what that flow chart is around students being able to get sort of done with a PRP or not is really important because that comes into the policy. So next month, you'll see that policy. It has to be in place by July 1. So that's part of why we wanted to kind of share with you where we're at with that policy right now.
Can I ask you, so the policy that's coming forward to us, is that something the state gave us, okay, this is the policy you need to have on the books, or was that something that we formulated?
Kind of some of both. So this is something from Neola that they gave some choices around so that they're legally sound as it relates to
Okay.
the legislative text. So there are some pieces that we selected within that, but it's all been.
And DPI gave us, has given a recommended or suggested kind of a template example, which I'm sure you'll want to make sure it was.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions about Act 20? We have a few other things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some honors for our art teachers and then some professional learning that was done and talk about some transitions. So I'm going to go on to celebration and this is really exciting, and I know that those of you who are sitting out here can't see this, but if you go to the web, you can. Those of you who are on the agenda can see this too. But the Wisconsin Arts Education Association names Art Educators of the Year each year, and there are several awards they give, but one of them is for the Secondary Art Teacher of the Year, and so I'm going to ask Jessica Madison, come on up, please. Nope. She loves being in front of people. I have to talk to the guy, please. Yeah, you do have to be. Okay, so this is Jessica, and I know many of you have seen the artwork that has been developed by our high school students over the years, and it's nothing short of amazing if you haven't. I mean, one of the things that Jessica does that is incredible is gets their artwork out there for other people to see. And I get choked up about this, but Jessica is always trying to find new things for our students to do and to learn. And as Mr. Moore would tell you, Jessica's classes are always full. We don't have any room for more, although I think if we needed to, we would probably find it. So not only is she training and helping kids learn incredible artistic skills, she has also done incredible work around encouraging students to learn this and to have it be part of their day-to-day love and appreciation for the arts. And is a great place for our kids to be, and we're so grateful that we're acknowledged in this way by the state for your incredible work. So yeah, thank you so much.
Just to piggyback, this is out of all the high school art teachers in the state, high school art teachers in the state, Jessica's being recognized, which is a huge feat.
I talked a lot about Adam's friendship in my application and my nomination, and how much I actually love this district, and love the kids, and love the people. So it was huge.
Awesome, thank you.
Rachel loves my stepdaughter loves her classes. So. Yes.
Yeah, my daughter. Yeah. Right. And then I'm going to ask Leah Kelly to come forward, please. Look at your husband. Yeah. So this is Leah Keller. Many of you know Leah. She is the art teacher extraordinaire at Elementary, and like her colleague Jessica was also honored to receive an award from the Wisconsin Arts Educators Association. And Leah's award is also an amazing award, and she is the art educator of the year for the state of Wisconsin. The art educator. Yeah. My response when she was honored with this award just last week, you can see by the title or the date, was like, she hasn't received this already? Like, seriously? So I've worked with a lot of art teachers over the years in my 37 years in education, And I have never worked with an elementary art teacher that's stronger than Leah, that encourages creativity in kids the way that Leah does, that has the production of incredible artwork. It's just mind-blowing. You walk the halls at AFE and see what she can get out of kids. It's just nothing short of miraculous. And she also has all these great artwork pieces that are here and on display, and display in a lot of places. And over the years, I don't even know how many kids you've been able to help get through to have their art posted and, you know, presented in different places in Madison. And I have no, I don't. So
That's huge.
I can't imagine that there would be a better art educator than you. So many congratulations to you, and thank you for everything you've done for our kids. I'm going to ask both of you, what has been the greatest thing about being an art teacher in this school district?
Leah Keller.
Aww.
I'm my best friend,
Oh,
literally.
Right.
And just how amazing everybody is here and the kids. I love the kids. I can't tell you how much I love them. I love them. So, but Leah's been amazing.
I don't know how you're going to follow up with that.
So I'm a pretty mouthy, sassy little person. And, this is beyond uncomfortable. Where else? So for me, besides meeting this wackadoo, I the kid says, I didn't know I could do that. Yeah. And I say, I did. I didn't know you could do that. Or the other day I had a kindergartner who, he struggles. He has a hard time. And he brought me his project. I said, this is the best thing you've ever made. I said, look at this, it's beautiful. And he just smiled. And I said, you must be so proud of yourself. This is the nicest thing you've ever made. And then I said, can I keep it and put it at the fair this summer? Just seeing them do things like that.
Yeah. Well, this is a great honor for both of them and also for the school district. So I thought it was really important when we bring them here to you and tell you thank you. So,
Thank you.
thank you to both of you.
I'm doing 2 for 2 for art teachers for kids.
I just want to mention that Leah's been very active in the Wisconsin Art Education Association for many years. She's helped plan their conferences, and she served it up as a mentor for art teachers and others in our district for many years. So thank you, Leah, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have to tell just a quick little story. They invited me to come to an art class with them last year in the middle of nowhere. Like 2.5 hours to get to, and was totally mortified by my art ability compared to theirs, but it was fantastic. I learned so much about both of them, and so even in the summer, they're going and doing things that they can give back to their kids, or maybe the purpose was to embarrass me, I'm not sure. So very well deserved. Thank you so much to both of you. All right, moving on to teachers doing amazing things. We have a couple of different staff who are going to tell us about some information that they were able to present elsewhere, which we also think is really important. One of the reasons I've asked them to be here tonight, first one is Mr. John Bonwald, and he's going to share what he did recently. But one of the reasons that Dr. Tom and I both wanted these people to come is because teaching and learning is also about teaching others. We learn when we teach others. So it's not just about the students in the classrooms, it's about what we learn when we teach others. And many of our teachers have the opportunity to go out and teach other teachers, and it's really pretty amazing. So John's here. John did not want to talk in front of people, yeah, but we talked him into it. So John's going to share.
I do most of my work like behind
I
the
know.
scenes. From the road, so.
Yeah, but those pillars are also important in your teaching. So step up to the podium.
Okay. Hi, I'm John Bonwald. I had an opportunity to attend the Build Better Businesses conference. This is my second time I've had an opportunity to go to that. It was sponsored by the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, their K through 12 energy education program. So my stuff was covered, they took care of everything, all I had to do was show up. The first time, my takeaways actually were implemented into the current build that we're on, where we brought some technology with using refrigerant to heat and cool water, and also the heat pump system that we put into that house. So I brought that back to our students, and our students got hands-on experience putting in not only the water heater, but they had the opportunity to work with Tri-City Refrigeration, heating and cooling, to install the ductwork and arc wash heat pump system with our secondary propane backup. So this year, when Samara, the lead of the UWSP program, reached out, she said, hey, we want some instructors to go to the Wisconsin Technology Education Association and teach other teachers what you learned at this event. So Mike Borison, he is Boston Tech Ed. He does exactly what I do here with our students. So he builds for Habitat on the Juneau side. I build for Habitat here with our kids on the Adams side. So him and I partnered up with another guy, Max, from Oshkosh, and we went to different seminars, and we were learning right alongside of professionals that were there from the trades to earn their continuing education credits and their license. So my takeaway from that, I spent a lot of time learning about indoor air quality, because at the current build, I do not want a rainforest to happen in the vaulted ceiling. And through working with Tri-City, Andy and Andrea, plus Johnston, the company that supplied all of the HVAC work to them, they actually came out, we discussed, we worked, the kids were right there learning with us. And they guaranteed if I did X, Y, and Z, we're not gonna have a rainforest in the ceiling of that house, because it's a nice vaulted ceiling and moisture rises. So, but yeah, I had an opportunity with Max and Samara and Mike to stand up in front of about 20 of our colleagues that do some sort of building, whether it's in the classroom with small modules, or they're actually building or remodeling houses. We had an opportunity to talk to those folks and pass on what we took away from that presentation. So there was also a connection with the K-12 kits and stuff that can be checked out to different tech ed instructors to do things on their buildings. One of the cool things about attending this conference is Mike and I and Samara all work together to acquire a blower door, so we can start doing blower door tests on our houses to basically pull a vacuum inside and see where the air leaks are. So we can make these houses more efficient, button them up a lot tighter, and conserve that energy. So the UWSP is going to, they actually purchased it already, and it will be housed at the Boston Restore for tech ed teachers throughout the region to check out, and primarily Mike and I to use it on our 2 builds and then teach the kids that technology. So we're building better houses.
Nice. Very nice.
We can talk all night about that, so I'm gonna stop.
Well, I've got a certificate from the Wisconsin Technology Education Association for John's work presenting at a conference on March 5th through 7th.
Nice.
Awesome.
This was my first time teaching there, and I think I'll do it again next year.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions for John? Most of what he said, I'm like, I need to take his class.
When we wrap this house up, the last house we invited 4 members to come do a tour. If you'd like to do that now, I'd love to have you on site.
Yes, yeah.
I know Tom has come out. He keeps promising to come out this year.
I have not.
So I'm gonna hold him accountable. Come out, check it out. I can show you everything that we've worked on. The kids touch everything. We've been pulling wire and putting in boxes. We've been working with a retired electrician who is a community member. So they were teaching us and allowing us to do that work. Like I said earlier, Tri-City, they came out and worked with us. We were putting in all the ductwork. They'd give us a day training and we would spend the next week working on that project. So, our kids have had their hands on everything.
Where is the house?
It's in Quincy. So it's a partnership build between family, Habitat, and school. So.
Nice. Are you building, did you build 2 houses?
In town here, I have 3 that are already done. So, yep, I built 3 in town. And then as soon as this one's done, we bought an entire city block on South Vincent Street. So now it's done, we're gonna take this open grassy field and start putting houses on there. So,
Very nice, wonderful. And then what will happen to the houses after they're done?
so Habitat does their thing. Yep, so there's folks that would apply. Stacy would work with those folks.
The Habitat for Humanity takes care of that.
So
That's awesome.
they take care of the, working with and the finances and stuff like that, so.
Very nice.
I report to them as well. So.
Okay.
Very cool, real world
That is.
opportunity
Something amazing.
for our students.
Badly needed too, so wonderful.
John, how many houses are in the city right now that we built? With done before, I think there's 7 or 8.
Yeah, a lot. And then there was more from when the initial program, when it was running, it was ran by Rick Uphoff. And he had his Uphoff Builders and then had Community Connections, so there's a few of those. I know we moved a house from down southern part of the county up here to Superior Street, so I know there's at least over 12 or so. I have that information on a slideshow, I can share it with you. So, because I had to present in front of the Habitat. I was invited to teach in front of their, a couple of years ago, their rural, or not the rural schools, but their conference in the state here, so.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you didn't get a chance to look at his full presentation, it is linked at the bottom of this slide, so please consider doing that as well. Thank you, John. Speaking of great teachers doing great things, yeah, that's somebody else. Karen, come on. So you'll see from this slide that our middle school interventionist, Dawn Clark Karen Hover and Dr. Leah Hover Price, as well as Karen and Dawn are interventionists at AFE, got to go ahead to the Wisconsin Math Council annual conference last week, actually, and share some great information that Karen's gonna talk about for a minute. Karen, what they got to share?
I didn't realize I was going to talk.
You are.
I just came from yoga. But yes, I will talk. I don't mind talking in front of you.
I know, you know, yeah.
Can I share a Leah Keller story first?
Please do.
I have 4 grandkids who have gone through are now in AFE, and when my 2 granddaughters play at Grandma's house, they always want to play art class. And so they say, Grandma, will you be Mrs. Keller? I said, sure. Okay, everybody get your paper up. That's not how Mrs. Keller does it. Everybody, please get your paper. Everybody get your pencil up. That's not how Mrs. Keller does it. I said, fine, I don't know what to do. One of them looked at the other one and said, Grandma, face it. You are no Mrs. So I did have the pleasure and the honor of going to Green Lake Math Conference to present. Not only did we present 1 time in 2 days, but we presented 6 times, 6 different sessions in 2 days. There were 3 of us. We all worked together with all 6 of the sessions. And when Heather says the way you learn is through teaching, I can't stress that enough. Being with my colleagues and creating the presentations was learning within itself. But then when you presented, we always ask, and with a discussion. Please share with us. We want to know what you're doing in your district. You learn so much more through those discussions. It's amazing. We have done this for several years, I think maybe 5 or 6 of the past years we have represented, and they always welcome us back, so I think that is a positive thing.
Hang on.
Yes.
Joe, can you click on the, click there, you took my keyboard. Okay, so while she continues to talk, make sure that you see photos of them, but go ahead.
We have a colleague who loves to make matching t-shirts, and she always makes us wear matching t-shirts, so we presented on interventions and what we call individualized education time at the middle school and at the elementary school. That is what most districts seem to be interested in, is our individual education time, where each student in our school gets 30 minutes of math a day and 30 minutes of reading a day at their level, in addition to their core reading and core math instruction. So if you're in first grade, you get a 30-minute block of reading at your level and a 30-minute math block specifically at your level. And they wanted to know, how do you schedule that?
And I'm just going to repeat, that is in addition to their normal math and reading instruction. I just want to make sure people understand that.
And it's very unique. That's what we have found out. There aren't many districts who do that. And they want to know, how do you schedule it? How do you staff it? How do you get buy-in from staff, parents, admin? And we're very fortunate to have admin back us in that. So thank you for that. We talked about Act 20 and how you can incorporate reading into your math instruction. How you incorporate that to make your math instruction stronger. And I always say, there's so much research that says better readers make better mathematicians. So we can't just say we're only math teachers, we're all reading teachers also. We talked about the PLC because we are a very strong PLC district, and we talked about how that is working in our district, how to build community through that, and how to use it as a tool to create better instruction. And the same thing that you wanted me to talk about.
No, that's great. Glad you prepared and knew you were going to speak.
I was very surprised at that poster. It said, who inspired you to be a math teacher? And we had right on there, my mom. So I have a picture of them.
Beautiful. Any questions for Karen?
What is PLC?
Professional Learning Community.
Okay.
Why there's early release on Wednesdays, so that the teachers can meet together. I just want to say that I think what you guys do is fantastic. Both of my kids had Mrs. Hover in second grade. It didn't happen very often that my kids had the same teachers. And then she became an interventionist and completely instrumental in both of their education. She knows the story, but my youngest son, who graduated last year, metacognition, right, Mrs. Hover?
Yeah, he remembered metacognition. He told me in second grade when you taught us about metacognition, it changed my world, which I don't really think. He was thinking about his thinking.
And he did very well, so I think it made a difference. I know it made a difference. Thank you.
I do have another question. So where did you guys get the idea to do the extra 30 minutes? Like, what was modeled, or were you guys?
That was an idea very instrumental, Roxy and Michelle, and we knew that looking at the data, we knew that what we were doing wasn't working, and we had to take another step. So what were we going to do to reach every student? And we wanted to reach every student, not just the lower 10 percentile. We also know that you can't intervene your way out of a core instruction problem. If there's something in the core curriculum, we need to reach all those kids instead of just reaching the lower 10%. And we need to reach the ones who are on the top. So
A lot of trial and error.
A lot of trial.
Right, and to talk about the buy-in, when we did first, it was a struggle, and the teachers didn't buy into it. So we needed to figure out a way to make it work for everybody and be beneficial. And you think back to when RTI, however many years ago, some of that came into place. We need to figure out a new way.
And that was brought up, how did you make it work? One of the things that we really contributed to is our administrator had a lot of trust in us. And so when we presented it to our staff at AFE, we said, you know, Roxy's putting this trust in us and we want to bring you along and come with us and let's try this for our kids.
Yeah, I think the same was true with Michelle at the middle school, Crystal and the team that was there. Same thing, but really nice for me to walk into a district that already had it in place. And as we continue to evolve that from intervention to making more shifts in our classroom regular instruction, the intervention model continues to be so necessary, and not just for students that are struggling, right? For all of our students in the classroom, that more individualized time is just so vital.
And the big question at conference is how do you do it in high school?
A challenge.
Another question, yes.
I just want to add that I have 3 children in the district, and the interventions, like I talk to my children a lot, you know, what do you like about this? What don't you like about this? Does this work? You know, do you like Alex? All of these questions that I ask them. And something that has been consistent with my 3 children personally are those interventions. They are like, we love interventions, they help us, we get to understand more, it's more personalized, like we need those. And I'm like, okay, this is good. So I know personally that the interventions are a huge benefit. So good job.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes.
Karen, like everything, the red shirts gotta go. The red shirts that were in the slides. Someone that's worn green every day for 6 years.
I love data.
I understand.
That's great.
Everything's great.
In the slides.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna bring the principals up and they are going to share a few things that we do for end of the year transitions. They're not coming. So we want to just briefly share what do we do at the end of the year, just very briefly. We do have a variety of transitions. Crystal too, with transition for our learners with IEPs and what we do post-graduation. So I'm actually going to have you go backwards if you would, because the next slide is for AFE. So we're going to actually start with the high school. Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
So Kevin, why don't you tell us about what we do with our graduates at the end of the year? How much time do they have left here? What do we do?
It's on my last slide.
You can talk more about that, but just getting ready for the end.
Yeah, so we have 2 weeks left with our seniors, and now it's a matter of making sure they get all the things they should have been working on for the last 4 years done in 2 weeks. It's a lot of pulling some through that are really ready to be done 3 months ago. So that's the big part. So the day of graduation, we have the rehearsal, and that's the kids' last day to turn in everything and make sure they have everything done. And that's the morning we have a nice send-off breakfast for them in the Commons, and then we head over and do the graduation walks in the other buildings. So the seniors put their graduation garb on and then go through and walk through the buildings and get to say bye to their little friends from the elementary and middle school one last time.
All right, thank you. Crystal, how about transition with students with IEP?
Yeah, so typically the case manager for the student that has an IEP, if they're moving from 4th grade to 5th grade or 8th grade to 9th grade, the case manager is going to come and meet the new case manager with the student and with the family and create that transition plan. So the student's not coming into the building blind and not knowing what can be supported for them. That also happens with the rest of the grade as well. So you see the AFE to middle school transition, middle school to high school transition. They have an opportunity to come in and tour the building. Counselors are very involved in that process and making sure that the kids see the high school and get a chance to sign up for courses, as well as those 4th graders coming over and getting time to play with blocks because they are all afraid of the locks. So they spend a lot of time. And then graduation as well. You heard Ms. Cote talk earlier this year about the follow-up that she does with all of our students who have some type of plan to see where they're at. We will continue to do that again this summer, and I can tell you again next summer, because while we are not required to, Ms. Cote continues to say, yes, this is something I want to do. So we continue to sign up for that funding to make sure that we can do that as well. Great, thank you. How about middle school and high school? You want to go with Crystal to share?
The middle school, the middle school, high school, it's a very similar process, and we use a lot of the same questions and get to know you as they transition up there and get to meet that case manager, meet some of the staff, and then get to them just prepared to make that shift to a whole nother level.
Elementary and middle school. I mean, Crystal kind of already talked about that our fourth graders next week, Monday, Tuesday, go over for a tour. They've also already been over and met with Mr. Curlis and got to preview some of the band instruments, because now it's their time for them to begin learning that. So that's what we have regarding transition.
Great. Before we share end of the year dates at each of the buildings, any questions about how we do transitions? Okay, a lot of work that goes into it. And I thank the principals and our student services staff in particular for all of that work. All right.
So, I mean, you can see everything we've got going on. Learning doesn't end, although you see field trips on there. The field trips are related to something that the students have already learned throughout the year. So part of their standards, for example, we've got the Ice Age Trail coming up this Friday for our fourth graders. They actually, 30 minutes, 45 minutes? 45-minute virtual information session today to get them ready, talking about the glaciers and the trail and what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be seeing based on their previous learning. We also have the middle school is already here. I would say the biggest thing for you as a board, if you want to join us on May 23rd, is our Memorial Day program at 9 a.m. Nikki Ellis will be our keynote speaker that day, talking about her military service. And we've got the 21-gun salute and the honor guard will be there. Students will be singing, which is always cheerful, and the 7th and 8th grade cadet band will be there. So please make sure you join us for that. And then we've got lunch with a loved one the last day of school. So families are welcomed to have lunch with their students, and walk around, and then if they feel the need to, they can take their students home with them at the end of the day and just do kind of an end of the year celebration for them.
Any questions about any of those events? A lot. Thank you. Great.
A lot of things happening in the middle school as well. For those who aren't aware, the extravaganza is Wednesday, and that's that combination band concert with middle school and high school in the gym. So like if you didn't attend it last year, it's a really great event. It's really neat to see the community members playing right alongside of our kids in all of those levels. So that's a big deal. And then Mohi field trip, that's that McKenzie Outdoor Center in Poignant that all 5th grade and 6th grade go to. So that's a really great full day of outdoor education. So that's another really great one. As you see, we layer in then a whole bunch of exciting end of the year trips. All of our grades take an end of the year trip and then have a kickball tournament. So like that's how they start to wrap up that end of the year. And I also want to note that when we think about financial pieces and we think about how we're out peddling our wares and trying to raise money, that's what pays for all of this. So we do this at no cost to the students to be able to attend all of these events at the end of the year. We tie the 7th and 8th grade gets really directly tied to their capstone project. So they in order to qualify, they have to get those flags finished of the community, working in the community, making their grades and their behavior is in check. We're rating some reflections and some fix-it plans on those and how to make that better. The 6th grade and 5th grade work in that direction. That's not as formal as it is for 7th grade, but they focus on, trying to keep the kids following those expectations, responsibilities, safety, respectful. So this time of year, it's certainly everything starts to spiral because it is definitely wild and woolly, and there's lots of things happening. So, and then of course we always like to mention like that with that send off for that 8th grade or VIP breakfast on June 4th, and then that Great America field trip on June 5th. So those are the two big things to send off our 8th graders onto the next level. So, and that's pretty much it for the middle school.
What time is the extravaganza?
7 o'clock, is that right? Yes.
7 in the.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
It's at the Fine Arts Center?
It's in the gym. In the high school gym, because there's so many kids, they don't fit. And we wouldn't be able to have enough room for all of parents and families and community members.
It is an event, so I recommend getting there early if you plan on attending.
And last year they performed a piece that was written specifically for them. I didn't even ask, I assume they're probably gonna. Yeah, what the special thing is. So, yeah, they've got some cool things happening.
All right, any questions for Chris?
Thank you.
At the high school, as you heard last time, we had our top 10 banquet since the last meeting. That was in Westfield, and the students got to hear an opera singer who's a graduate from Westfield speak. And then Jim and Tom were there to help hand out their plaques, which I thank them for. Future Friday Talks, we've had those throughout the year, but it's just something that goes along with the ACP plan, the plan you'll hear about later. But just as of late, just to let you know, we've had the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council in, so different members of the criminal justice field from the government center come in and talk to all students. That one was for years. We had Craig Culver in last Friday, thanks to Becky and the NIF, and then kind of connection she made at the National FFA Convention. So he was in and spoke to all our kids about just being a good person, basically, and making sure if you're in the people business that you know how to treat people nicely. And then next Friday, we have an AFHS alum. I don't know the man, but Drake Sass, who's in the Navy, I believe, is coming to talk with a group of his to talk about different careers in nuclear science and STEM careers within the Navy. So those are good opportunities for kids to learn. We have AP testing going on last week and this week and a little bit next week. That happens here at the admin building, and you can see the numbers there, almost 40 students, 7 subjects, and 46 tests. So that's a lot of testing going on. The numbers are down from last year a little bit, but we also have 3 new dual credit classes that we offered this year where some of those kids went. So we have dual credit psychology, dual credit, 2 dual credit English classes that students can get college credit without having to take that big exam at the end. So Mr. Klish and Ms. Gill teach those. We had prom last weekend, and over 100 students attended that. We had it behind the high school in a tent. It was really nice, and kids had a good time with the yard games, and then just a lot of kids stayed well past 10 o'clock. It goes till 11, which is too late for me, but the students enjoyed their time, and some stayed right there till 11 and a little after. But it was really well attended, really well done, thanks to Shannon Ote and the prom committee. Scholarship ceremony was last Wednesday. Again, shout out to the community. I can't say it enough. $90,000 raised by our local scholarship committee, given out to the 20-some students that applied. So students got anywhere from $1,500 to well over $6,000. Plus you add in our other scholarships from like ACEC and Market Adams, Telephone Cooperative, and other local allied cooperative. It's well over 100,000. And then students also, one student got the Chick Evans scholarship, which is a full ride to Madison, and scholarship in Sac Valley, and other good scholarships. So our kids are going to do great things, and they have a lot of help from our community to get them there. The end of the year music events, Chris talked about it. We've already had our choir and band, just high school only events last week. Very well done by Mr. Randall and Ms. Celescar. And then National Honor Society ceremony. You're welcome to join us next Sunday, this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. to watch the induction of many new sophomore and junior members, and the outgoing senior class gets recognized there as well. And then an ice cream social will follow. And then graduation, the big event, May 23rd. 6 o'clock right now is planned to be outside on the football field. You're welcome to join us. There is no limitations out there. That was another good thing that came from COVID, is that we started having outside, which is a really nice venue. As long as the weather holds up, and last year we had to move inside. Please join us for that as well. And I will need some people. I don't know if we're talking about.
We're going to talk about it tonight, so we'll get it.
Homeless with us, so. Seems like it's party planning season.
Yeah.
Good celebrations.
Any questions for Kevin in the high school?
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You hear that learning ends in schools at the end of the school year. That is just not true, as you can see. I'm celebrating a lot of great work. Any questions for anything? Sorry for the long presentation.
Sina, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to take a?
Yes.
Okay, Crystal, we're going to stop. We have the auditor, I believe, online, Joe?
She's got to go back to, she's on with me. She's
Okay.
patient and listen to the entire presentation.
So Nikki, I'm going to let you take over then.
Absolutely. And there. So Christina, can you hear everyone? Well.
Hopefully we.
Yeah. Turn your mic off.
Oh. I wanted to run away, did you see me? Yeah. I was gonna. Can you talk now? But my mic is off.
Can you hear us?
We can't.
She's muted, Joe. That's your computer, I think, Nikki.
My computer.
Thank you, Joe. Again, technology is going to make our lives easier.
Hey, I can contest that.
And Crystal and Michelle, are you guys okay? We'll just cut back here. All right, thank you. I just feel really bad, but probably not much. Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, now we can't hear her. How about that?
This way. Okay, please.
Oh, the joys, you've been so patient, you've heard everything, so.
Oh, wait.
Oh, we will be patient.
Walk over there and,
We will be patient here.
right? Hear me, so.
In front of you, you should have a copy of the auditor's report, the board members.
Yes, so this is this bound copy as well as what is attached to the agenda. So if you're ever curious at night and want some reading material.
Should put you to sleep.
Right. All of the great information that's in there. Basically, it's compiled a long process of the auditing piece, and then a current part as far as the management letter, which we'll talk about in just a second. Ever talk?
Yes.
Christina, can you hear me?
You might have to turn your mic back on.
Christina, can you hear me? Yes?
I don't think so.
Wow. Thought you're snapping at me.
I feel like one of the computers needs to come on like Joe does. This happens at our work sometimes and only one person,
That's control.
whoever can. That's what it is.
She's got her mic mute.
Joe, do you need to be in on the call in order to keep her on?
She has her mic muted too.
The public.
Yeah, I'm actually on that computer right there.
Yeah, I think only
Ask her to unmic you.
She's got her mic on mute. I can see the line.
She can't hear anyway.
It's muted.
She can't hear what we were saying though, what Nikki was saying.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
No echo?
No echo.
Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna go.
All right.
So I'm Christina Dahmer, I'm a CPA. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Sometimes this happens. I've told Nikki I've done worse, sometimes in the car. It was kind of nice to sit through some of the presentations, and I was glad I got math stuff in there too. It started with art, so I was sweating. But I'm glad that I get to present your audit. We have worked with the district just for the first year here, so there was a swap in auditors. And as a result, I'm sure you're not used to seeing the statements in the same exact manner and format as they are before you. We basically prepare a couple of deliverables, one being the annual financial report. And that is, of course, management and the board's responsibility. And as part of the audit process, we help compile the financial statements. And really our claim to fame is the auditor's report, which I'm happy to report has an unmodified opinion, which is what the district has had for many, many years throughout its audit processes. An unmodified opinion means that this is a clean opinion, according to layman's terms. That means that the auditors have found that the line items in your financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. We prepare our audit following audit standards, and that includes two basic pieces to the audit process. A preliminary fieldwork piece where we take a look at your internal controls, come up with some ideas on how to do the final fieldwork for the audit, and then the final fieldwork is born out of that process. And what we do is basically a risk assessment that comes out of your trial balances, comparing to the prior year, comparing to your budget, and then doing analyticals. And then we will also pick certain accounts and transactions for what we call standard testing, where we look at the very detailed transaction and look at the invoices. That's basically what an audit is, and your deliverables then before you are your annual financial report, as well as what's called a report to the board, and then your management letter. This year, with your swapped auditors, we had various things that we changed. One thing to simplify your annual financial report, we changed your food service fund from a business type activity enterprise fund to the special revenue fund, which is really how most school districts in Wisconsin report the food service fund. If you were, like purchasing a lot of equipment or something like that, it might be good to separate it out, but it's usually reported as a special revenue fund, so that was one of the prior period adjustments that we did. And then when we took a look at your capital assets, there were various differences that resulted as some adjustments to your financial statements from the previous audit. Those things are highlighted separately, which is why you have a separate report to the board that was presented this year, in addition to what we normally would see, which is your management letter. The management letter then is a deliverable that we have where auditors have a chance to comment on things that are not material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. They're not those bigger adjustments to your financial statements. They are, kind of like housekeeping items, items that are best practices that we share. So for our firm, because we are niche in government practice, we will typically see a lot more comments
than your other competitive firms that do government audits, maybe on the side in addition to their other work. We focus solely on governments and school districts as a firm, so we have a lot of feedback and best practices and various policies that we will recommend. And that's the basics of what you see in your management letter that we presented to the school district. Overall, the audit process was very smooth. Obviously, because of the late switch and all the turnover that occurred at the district, next year we will have a more timely audit process. But otherwise, the district and its staff has done nothing but try to respond in the most timely manner with the most accurate data as part of the entire audit was going on. So thank you so much for all of the hard work in your finance department, especially to Nikki, who helps coordinate all of it. So we appreciate working with her in the district, and we hope to do so for many years to come. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Maybe not now if I can't hear you. You can always respond to me in some other manner, an email, or have a Teams chat or video chat with me about your questions in the future if you wish. Thank you so much for your time. I hope your board meeting goes well tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bounce back to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we will be 2.5, Director of Student Services report.
Thank you guys for being patient.
So, we will get started with the very, can we go back just one slide for me?
You actually have a clicker up there.
Hit the back.
There you go.
So this is linked to the Director of Student Services report for board members.
So tonight we're going to give you an update on what we are doing in academic and career planning. I want to start out just by sharing with you that while Michelle and I are standing up here representing the work that has been done, this is a very large team. This has been work for many, many, many years in the making. It's not that this has been a one and done, but the plan was updated this year. Mr. Moore was actually able to schedule a meeting with someone from CISA 5 who supported us this school year. And then Michelle and Kelsey Hynoski, our high school counselor, were able to attend another training and update our ACP plan. So it is something we would like to share with you tonight. So this particular plan is governed by a couple of state statutes that fall in line with what the board is doing. It's 115.28 and 121.02 that dictates that we must provide access to education for employment in schools. So we have touched on some of those things inside of this plan. You also have heard us talk for the last few years about My Futures and what has been done at the middle school, but tonight you'll get to hear more of what's being done at every single level. Kelsey Hynoski wanted to also be here tonight, as did Monica Bork. Monica Bork was unavailable, and Kelsey Hynoski is snuggling her very, very new baby, so she's not able to be here with us tonight. So you're going to hear us say ACP a lot. And ACP stands for Academic and Career Planning. It's kind of what we shared with you at the beginning of tonight. Really what this is a student-driven plan that is supported by adults. So we're trying to tease out and drive out what are students' interests, what are they successful in, what is the career path that they want to take, and what job opportunities might they have within our community. So you can see over here the know, explore, plan, and go that you see up here are things that our counselors are doing with every single grade level. We started out mapping out this plan by looking at where are we providing this information to students at every grade level, and what did that look like. Now, again, this is a K-12 vision, so why our counseling team? Our counseling team is really able to drive that K-12. I love that Michelle is here with us tonight, because really wanting to bridge all the way down to our youngest learners, and she can really talk to you tonight about what does that look like. But they're also trained in having those conversations and pulling out students' individual strengths and needs as well, and then really becoming the conduit inside our district to connect the teachers with the families and our community and what is here and available.
So part of the ACP plan, the DPI, they have a form that makes it really easy and nice for us to fill out and make sure we have all the requirements that are needed as part of the plan. So it's very wordy form, and we figured that you guys might not want to waste your night reading through it, but if you do, if you click like that link up there where it says K-12 ACP plan, that's like the wordy form of what we're saying. We just kind of condensed it and put some pictures, so it's a lot more. But as we go through the plan, we'll talk about all these different individual pieces that make up the plan, and that helps to just basically guide that we're doing what's best for students and we are truly preparing them for that career post-graduation. You can go to the next. You have this one. So the first part of the plan is the labor market analysis. And for this section, we look at data from our community, but also from our region. And we try to look at which career areas are growing most so that we're preparing our students for those careers. We don't want to prepare our students for the business field if business isn't really growing in Adams. So in Adams County, leisure and hospitality, education and health services, transportation and utilities are the big growing careers in our community. So like you'll hear throughout our presentation that there's we have this Health Careers Academy that we're going to talk about. John Wald was up here a little bit ago talking about what they're doing in the trades. So all of those things, that the reason we picked all of those things, the reason we do all of those things is because we're looking at what do our students need so we can keep them here and they can give to our community in a positive way. So that's that section. In the required program description section, we look at what every student gets as part of the curriculum. So it starts in elementary school, and we start as early as 4K. I just was doing lessons in 4K last week, where we just start talking about different careers. We're not telling them in 4K that they have to pick a career, but they learn what a farmer is and what a mailman is and what a firefighter is, and they get to be a police officer. And so they just really get to see that careers are fun, and careers are like their goal that they're working toward. That's why we're doing schooling in the first place. So we start as early as 4K. And at the elementary school, we go up to 4th grade, and they get 2 to 4 lessons. They're about hour-long lessons where we're doing different career exploration pieces. So not really honing in on what we want to be yet, but more so like learning about themselves and maybe like connecting what pieces of themselves would be connect them to career. So if I really like I really like dance. That's just something about me. So a really good career for me, and I tell kids this all the time, is being a dance coach because I really enjoy helping people and coaching dance. So helping those kids identify what do they like and hopefully picking a career eventually that's going to connect to what they like so that they're happy in that career. So that's what we really focus on at the elementary school. Then at the middle school, they, in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they all take a My Futures class, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that in a little bit. There's a lot of components to that that really start to help students hone in specifically on like what direction they want to move in. The middle school, again, we'll talk about that shortly, but really we learn about everything in elementary school, so we start to hone a little bit in middle school. And then in high school, there's a lot of career preparation happening. So all juniors take the college and career preparation class. So a lot of career preparation is happening in that class. All juniors also take personal finance. And then at the high school, there are 12 dual credit classes, and all of those classes allow students to get, if they complete the course, they get both a college credit and a high school credit, so helping prepare them post high school. And then at the high school, there's 89 elective courses that are offered that are all related to career pathways. So when we look at, like, is there something for everybody? If a student wants to go into something, there's something offered. Not all 89 of those classes are off. Like, we don't run those every single year. Obviously, they run based on what students' interests are, but our teachers are prepared to run 89 different classes to all meet what our students need to be successful post-secondary. So next is the elementary highlights. So we'll kind of go building by building. But a big part of this section that you'll notice is that ACP isn't just what we do in the classroom. A lot of what our students get that prepare them for post-secondary is happening outside of the classroom or those hands-on experiences. Like John talked about earlier, like the kids are building the houses. Like that's a lot more effective in teaching our kids the skills they need than sitting in a classroom and telling them, okay, you need to put this wire here. Those hands-on experiences really help our kids grow. So at the elementary school, we do a lot of classroom things where kids really learn, like I said, about themselves. So we talk about their interests and their skills, and they learn about like, why do people work, and how do I manage my feelings so that I can have a job? And then as they get older, like setting goals and things like that. There's this very fun game that we use at the elementary school. It's called Career Town. If you bring it up with any second grader or third grader, they will probably scream a little. They really like it. But that's sponsored by Zello, and Zello is a program that we use from second grade all the way through 12th grade that supports career development, and DPI purchases that for us. But we, at the elementary school, get in second grade. So the program changes as you get older. So second grade obviously looks very different than 12th grade. But in Career Town, the kids get to play a game where they go to different spots in the town and they have to find the missing workers, and they really have a blast with it. So when I walk in the classroom and say we get to play Career Town today, I am a fan favorite for the day for sure, so I like those days. We also do like career exploration, so we play charades with careers where the kids get to pretend to be different careers. We like have different hats, and they have to like guess what career might wear this hat. They make career books. We play career bingo, so a lot of just different ways to make learning about careers fun and exciting. And then we do a lot of hands-on things as well. So all of our students get to talk with firefighters during our fire safety visits. We also have our 4th grade students who go to the Capitol, so they learn a lot about government on that trip. Our 4th grade students also did the Food and Farm Exploration Center this year, so again, learning about agriculture and careers in that industry. We have safety days for 3rd graders and agri-science days for 2nd and 3rd graders as well. So all of those things on the bottom are all opportunities where our students are getting hands-on opportunities to see that career in action. And again, we're really young, but we really want to get them excited about like cool things that you can do when you're in a career someday.
Well, Safety Day and Agri-Science Day are both FFA, put on by the FFA chapter, so you got your high school kids teaching these things with our younger youths.
Yeah.
Very powerful with our younger students as well. They like to see the high school kids involved. I'm going to speak a little bit to the middle school and high school, and I've asked Mr. Robinson and Mr. Moore to jump in at any point, or if you have questions that they could answer a little more than I can, but again, I'll represent those individuals who couldn't be here tonight. So at our middle school, Mrs. Allard talked a little bit about the Zello platform that we use, so we're putting students on there to do some career inventories and figure out, who are you? What do you like? What does that look like? And we progress on from there to more of that career development by 8th grade through that My Futures class. So by 8th grade, they're able to tell me, you know what, I think I want to be a social worker, and here's my why. And now I'm going to create a resume to be a social worker, and I'm going to go do a mock interview to be a social worker. So they kind of get to walk down that entire path across their time at the middle school. They also have the opportunity to do things like the heavy metal tour, which is not listening to heavy metal music. They are actually going to machine shops and get to have the opportunity to see what that looks like. And then they start exploring post-secondary options. So they will go to UWSP, they go to Mid-State Technical College, they do some discovery days with Mid-State, they'll do some healthcare tours, again, knowing that healthcare is a rising industry area in Adams County. They will do STEAM days again at UWSP, that's science, technology, and education, making sure they have some exposure. And then again, those mock interviews and alumni career talks. Mr. Robinson, next Wednesday? Next Wednesday, our mock interview. So if anybody is able to come, it's nice to have the students not always have a familiar face. They get a real experience. They dress up for the day and they are very, very nervous and they walk out very, very proud of themselves. So it's a really cool experience. And then our high school, we are moving more into that pathway even further. So by the time I hit high school, I have a little bit more of a plan. I'm going to spend more time with my counselors, better understanding what does this look like for me? What are these real world applications? I get to take some courses that are offered through the high school. Mr. Moore has a wonderful partnership with Mid-State Technical College, allowing students to walk that pathway as well. And then again, having some of those opportunities to go. So those TEMA courses that are offered with their capstone projects, you can see here, sophomore mid-state technical program showcases that are offered, the Wisconsin Educator Fair, and then also having those alumni that come back and talk to students about different career opportunities, as Mr. Moore had mentioned earlier.
So part of the ACP plan also includes trying to identify how do we individually support kids. So when we're in a classroom and we're teaching, when a teacher is teaching, maybe that kid isn't getting individualized support in deciding what career they want, but also figuring out how am I going to get to that career. So the plan asks us to identify like how do we individually connect with every single student to make sure that every single student feels supported in figuring out what that path might be. So the places that we've identified that kids are getting those individual conversations, maybe individually focusing on a career, is in 4th grade. They make career posters, and that's a really good opportunity for them to pick a career and learn about it, and then they teach other people about that career that they learned about. So it starts as early as 4th grade. And then it's in 8th grade, as Crystal said, they have their capstone project and where they pick that career and they create a resume for that career. So again, they're getting individual feedback related to their career to hopefully drive their success. Post-secondary, at the high school, the Upward Bound program, they get a lot of individual support there. We included Zello in this section because Zello is very individualized and carries what you put into the program from year to year. So if in 8th grade, I said that I wanted to be a school counselor and I selected that in Zello, when I get to my freshman year and my sophomore year, Zello is going to outline, it will tell me exactly to get to be a school counselor, I need to go to a 4-year university, and Zello will show me those options in my area. And then Zello will say, okay, now you're gonna, like your next step after that would be to get your master's program. So Zello is a great tool for us, and it houses all that data. So the high school counselors can go in and see this many students selected, these careers, and then we can be intentional in planning what we're preparing for students and what opportunities we're giving them based on what they're selecting. At the high school, they also do student scheduling meetings, so they're again talking about their careers and making sure that if I want to go into healthcare, I'm getting enrolled in the Healthcare Academy, or I am making sure to take that CNA course. So they're supporting students individually that way. There's job channels offered at the high school through their Health Careers Academy. In the construction and trade certificate program, they're doing a lot of counseling discussions on what do I need to do to secure that apprenticeship or that plan after high school. In TEMA, I think they've been here before to present, but very, again, individualized program where each student sits down with their instructor and is able to kind of outline their plan. And then each senior has an individual meeting with the counselor as well to just make sure to go over if they met their graduation requirements and to talk about what their post-secondary plans are. So we're really trying to make sure that we're reaching all of our kids and making sure that they have a plan, and we can help support them in that plan. And looking ahead, so the last part of the plan asks us to identify some goals or some things that we want to continue to work on. And we know that we always need to learn and grow, and especially in careers, it's just ever changing. The 4K kids that I'm teaching about careers today, there will be completely different careers offered by the time they graduate from high school. So it's definitely super important that we're always setting goals and really analyzing to make sure that we're continuing to grow. So our goals include increasing family engagement opportunities, and that's something that our district is really working on, because as kids get older, students like to have that, maybe they're like, I don't need my parents anymore. But we know that parents really want to be involved in those conversations and helping their student find a successful career path. And so we're working on trying to find some ways that we can include parents, especially at the high school level, where maybe the kids don't want them included, but we want to make sure that that's a collaborative process to help them be as successful as possible. We also want to continue to increase our community partnerships. So Mr. Moore talked about how we have a tremendous amount of community support when it comes to scholarships and supporting our kids with careers, with college, but we want to make sure that we're connecting those local partners, those local businesses to our students when they're in high school, so that if they don't want to go to college, they can still support our students in being successful in careers. We're going to continue to work on professional development with our staff because we know there's a lot of data that supports that when students are getting career development infused into their classes, and if it's not separate, if it's infused, kids are a lot more likely to apply that information that they're learning. So we're continuing to do professional development so teachers know how to infuse those career conversations right into that tech ed class or right into that art class, so that we can make sure they see that what they're learning in school is preparing them for what they're doing after.
You will also see this plan come back to you with updates, because moving forward, we do not have the approval tonight, but the next month we will look for approval of the plan from the board, and we will continue to bring it back to you with any updates that we have now that we've kind of mapped out the plan. Any questions for us?
It's not really a question, but it's a comment. It's very refreshing to see that you're not only focusing on college for the future, but the careers. It's so important, and I applaud you. It's wonderful.
I was good. I graduated from here 13 years ago maybe, and I would say that there's definitely a dramatic shift. And when I was in school, it felt like everybody was saying, if you want to be successful, you have to go to college. Right. And now our students know, a lot of our students are enrolling in mid-state or enrolling in apprenticeship programs or things that are going to directly connect to what they want to do versus maybe going to a 4-year and not really knowing what they want to do. So helping them save money but also be applicable.
Very good.
Sounds like Zello is a very neat tool. When do you start putting information into Zello?
They start as early as 3rd grade. That's when they get like their own personal profile, but it looks different, like I said, as they go through. So in 3rd grade, they put in like, what do I like to do? So they put in basketball or robots or Legos, right? And then as they get into 4th grade, they identify some things that they're good at. And so they just start to put kind of basic information into Zello at the elementary school, and then as they get older.
Are they able to see what they put every grade?
Yeah.
So they are able to access Zello throughout the entirety of their school?
Yeah, create a student portfolio inside the system so that they can see what they've been doing the whole time.
I see.
And it's really cool. They can see like what careers they liked. So this starts in 3rd grade, but even I see from 3rd grade to 4th grade, like kids liked careers in 3rd grade, and then they get to 4th grade, and then I said I wanted to be that. So it's really cool to see how much they grow and change, and then have them recognize that it's okay to grow and change as your interests change, but it's super important to just find a career that's gonna fit you and make you happy instead of
unless somebody else wants to.
Very cool.
There was a comment regarding next Wednesday that they would be doing like auditions.
Mock interviews.
Mock interview.
For the middle
Mock
school
interviews?
eighth grade students.
That's what?
Middle school, eighth grade students, mock interviews.
Okay. Do they do that all day or is that just a special time frame that they do that?
11 o'clock to like 11 to 2, roughly.
And that's in the gymnasium?
The library.
In the library?
Do we just need to show up for that?
If you are interested in helping interview kids, I'd ask if you could just email me and so we can know about how that'd be great.
Okay, wonderful.
We have community members through Workforce Development Board as well as through the chamber that are signed up. We've got a number of kids and a number of different interest areas.
I've done it a number of times. I think it's really interesting just because in my professional life, I hire a lot of people and I will tell you that some of these kids are really well prepared. They interview better than adults that I've had come in for an actual job. And some kids are really, nervous and whatever, but it's been really interesting. I mean, sometimes you just deviate from the script and you have a conversation with them. And I've had some really cool interactions with some kids who don't really want to be there, and yet it turns out okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing.
So you provide basically the questions of what you say in the interview?
Correct, yeah, and it's a rubric to help tell the kids, how do you think that you did, it's a 5-point rubric. So we kind of give them some feedback on that so that we know how to fix it in the future.
They have also been practicing for a long time, and if you could see the students outside of the room, again, they're nervous, but they want to do their best and be their best. They'll switch shirts with each other to make sure they have the nicest shirt on going in. They leave with a certificate from the individual who interviews them, and they're pretty proud when they come out of that room with that certificate.
It's a very nice thing. I like that.
If you don't want to be necessarily an interviewer, if you just want to come and observe, do you still want an email or just?
You just stop in and just check it out if you want, sure. Okay. It's just if you want to interview, I want to make sure that we have everything aligned for those kids.
It'd be fun.
What do you think the time frame is for those interviews?
Said 11 to 2.
Right, but
Then there'd be like a.
For each
You
one.
mean how long will the interviews take?
Each one.
They're like, it's about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. There's like a whole set of kids that take turns.
Yeah. One comes in and interviews, and then when they're done, we go for another one to send them up, and it's a pretty well-oiled machine. We do have new people that are really in charge. Mrs. Work is taking over like on the administrative side, kind of running that as part of the ACP plan. And then we have 2 brand new teachers in the 8th grade that are teaching it. So they're teaching them by future. So I'll say it's a well-oiled machine, but new people, you never know. But they seem pretty prepared and excited to move forward.
So do all the children participate or is it volunteer, whoever wants to?
It's a requirement for.
It is a requirement.
For 8th grade.
8th graders.
It's part of the My Futures class, as well as then it's another part of that capstone to get them to that Six Flags trip. So the kids overwhelmingly will jump in and do it. We've had some of our toughest kids that Mandy's even been in helping interview, and they do it, they dress up, they give their best, it's a pretty humbling experience for them.
That's cool.
I will say that I really appreciate that we do it in 8th grade. I work in a neighboring county, and so I do something similar in one of the school districts over there. And over there, it's a requirement in high school, sophomores, but they've had juniors and seniors do the elective. And again, I actually think for the most part, our 8th graders do a better job.
Wow.
I think it's just part of the whole experience and what we have set up that leads up to the day. I mean, I'm not saying that the other kids do bad, but some of them take it really seriously and others don't. And it's kind of like a class they take over there, where here it's more like, right, we're preparing them and then they're going to do this and then they're going to high school.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, food service report.
I will do this for Miss Rosie. So basically, we are part of a co-op, the Wisconsin School Nutrition Purchasing Co-op. And on page farther down, but you can see how many districts are participating in that. Looks like there's 63 districts. So what it does is it gives us a better price for what we are purchased by being a member of the co-op. It allows us to purchase our items at a competitive rate. It does narrow our scope as far as what we are able to order through. So we go through Gordon Foods and to be able to purchase from them. At the end, once there are so many, basically the co-op has a number of items that have been purchased, especially with milk. There is a rebate of some sort. So if you've ordered X amount of cases, then you will get so much of a rebate from that. We've only been a member for just over a year, but this last year we got about $400 was our rebate by participating. They handle a lot of the bidding process when we're bidding out different food costs and making sure that they meet the nutritional requirements that are necessary. But this year that they asked that we present or at least share with the board, and then there's a portion for both Jim and Mandy to be able to sign for us to continue with the participation. So there is an annual fee to be a part of the member of the co-op, and it's $300, but so far just with participating with the return and the rebate piece of it, we've already made that money back. So from what Rosie has shared with me, it's kind of a no-brainer to be a part of it. They do all of the heavy work to do all the negotiating and the bidding, and making sure that the food requirements meet nutritional standards. And we just get to sit back and be a part of it.
Okay.
You can ask me a question. I don't know that I would have the answer, but
Do we need to approve it, or is this more informational?
It's more informational. There is a portion for you to sign just to allow us to continue with it.
Who approved this?
Originally?
Yeah, like, is this something that we have to approve? Where does this come from?
It was approved at one point in time. It's a buying co-op, so it cuts our purchasing costs when we're buying food. We're one of 63 school districts. We've been a member for,
I think 2 years. I think the last year, Rosie's predecessor originally presented to the board and had us participate in it. And before then, it was just a participation, you sign up. And now this year, they're having you share with the board of what that information is, and then to continue with the process to have an acknowledgement with your board treasurer or clerk and president.
but it was brought to the board when we initially.
A couple years ago, yep.
So are the same foods purchased? It's just that we're co-oping together to purchase them at a larger quantity?
Right.
Yes.
So then we get
a better price, obviously, because if we're buying in bulk, yeah.
We're one of 63 school districts that participate, and we get cheaper costs up front and then a rebate at the end.
So it's narrowing our options again, and what vendors we can go through, but we get it at a better rate because we're participating in it. It's kind of like going to Sam's or a Costco or something.
Right.
Where there's a larger and order in bulk, usually there's a discount for that.
Okay.
So
Any other questions?
should we put this into new business?
No.
No.
Just roll over. That's fine.
Okay. All right, anything else, Nikki?
No, that was all I had for that.
All right, Board of Education reports. Jeff?
Teacher appreciation next week. I know all the teachers that I saw said happy teacher appreciation.
Some really good responses to some of the things. The popcorn thing, I think I liked. I think they had that at the elementary. I would like to see the board be able to participate in that week. I know our board meeting is always after the fact. And so I will always say this, teachers are underappreciated. We're in the people business, and they are the people that run our business at the end of the day. Our kids are our product, and without them, it wouldn't happen. Thank you.
That's true.
The board did provide
a cake.
No, last year we went with brownies, the Quick Trip brownie, the really heavy frosting, and the carrot cake with that frosting.
Oh, yeah.
It was very well received, so that's what you gave them this year as well. So Wednesday was delivery of both items, and they were excited to see them come in, so.
And those chocolate brownies are phenomenal.
Well, we did good then.
You did great.
Does anybody else have anything? Seeing none, we will move on. District Administrator report.
All right, I have a number of things. First, welcome Priscilla to the school board. Thanks for being here, and thank you for your service. the Path Forward team that we're creating to talk about our next steps regarding referendum and our finances and configuration is continuing to move forward. And we have, I haven't looked, but we had close to 40 people that were signed up. If board members are interested in signing up, you can go to the website and there's a link to do so. If more than 3 of you sign up, we do have to post it as a formal board meeting, just so you're aware. So that's good. We are planning on meeting the nights of board meetings, trying to. So our first meeting will be at 5 o'clock prior to the June board meeting. And we are asking people that sign up to make the commitment to follow through on that. So we're going to start meeting around board meeting nights initially, and we might have to do more. Attached in your board document is the social media report. And you'll see that our footprint, our social media footprint continues to grow. And that's always a positive thing, getting the word out about the good things that we're doing in our school district. You've heard a lot of good things tonight from our teaching and administrative staff about what we're doing to help kids prepare for the future, and also some cool things that our teachers are doing in the classroom. CISA 5 rep, Mr. Presley, and this happens every year as well. Their annual meeting is this Thursday, the 15th. So
3 meetings, actually.
I'm giving you that notice. And as Mr. Moore mentioned earlier, we need to ask the board who would like from the board to help hand out diplomas. Historically, people that have had family members graduating have been the first to volunteer. I know Mr. Bays has an immediate family member that's graduating, so I assume
So I
Jim
would like to, yes.
Jim would like to. Others that would like to hand out diplomas Friday night of Memorial Day weekend. The 23rd, is that correct?
23rd at 6. At 6.
And I won't be able to do it this year, but I sure enjoyed doing it last year. That's such an honor.
It's a cool thing.
It's a great thing to do.
And the weather, knock on wood, is always.
We had to move inside last year, which kind of tightens things a little bit. It's you know, we're hoping for good weather. Priscilla, you would like to do that as well? Okay,
Sign up for that.
okay. Well, you're signing up now, so. Any other board members that would like to help hand out diplomas that day? All right, okay. All right, thank you. We met with the staff tonight. We're a little behind. We've been trying to wait for the insurance numbers to come back. We were assured that they would be here by the end of today, and I don't believe that we have those yet. So we did meet with the staff members tonight and discussed what the administrative team is recommending for salary and benefit increases for the next school year. We're still focusing on CPI. We will have a meeting with the district leadership team to confer about any questions or concerns they have, and potentially holding a special meeting in a week or two. Not 2 because that's Memorial Day, a week potentially to start to finalize the salary and benefits for the teaching staff. We're still not sure when we're going to have the insurance numbers, which is unfortunate at this point in time. So please be aware that a special board meeting might be forthcoming. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Tom. All right, do I have a consideration to go into closed session? Consideration to go into closed session? Consideration to go into closed session? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I made that motion.
I have Mandy and Joni. Motion by Mandy, second by Joni to adopt the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the bills. We have minutes from our April 14th regular board meeting. We have no retirements. We have some resignations. We have Amanda Buckmeyer. She was our accounts payable. Resignation from Jacob Volke. Resignation from Sean Ringer. And Elise Harvick, middle school choir teacher. We have some staff transfers. Janet Kalowski moving from the middle school librarian to high school attendance secretary. We have some hirings. Ashlyn Krieger, assistant dance coach. Brittany Lisser, high school cheerleading advisor. Sarah Hill, middle school cheerleading advisor. And Sherry Senowski, 8th grade math teacher. We have multiple overnight trips. We have the Adam Strenship FFA going on an overnight trip. I think that's the right one.
Skipped 4 and 8.
Skip the basketball team.
Nope,
Basketball.
that was the one I was on. So we got the high school going to North Dakota for a basketball tournament and camp. Then we got FFA trips. So doing their leadership conference at Marquette, Wisconsin. They usually rent a little cabin over there. Then they have their overnight trip at the state convention. Plus the FFA also has their end of the year trip that they tour agricultural businesses. And this year they are going to the southwest part of the state.
We do have a retirement. There wasn't an attachment included.
Okay.
So it was a late
Okay,
retirement.
there it is.
here.
Okay.
So
Katie Hagan, 4th grade teacher. All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Joni,
Yes.
Mandy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, moving on to the Finance Committee meeting. I will take care of number 1 right away, 5.1, the meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Mandy. Discussion. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Lena,
Yes.
Joni,
Yes.
Mandy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Bobby, Steve,
Yes.
Priscilla,
Yes.
and my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, I will turn it over to you, Jeff.
5.2, discussion of potential sale of the bus barn. There has been a proposal with no dollar amount, I will say that, from Cobuson to potentially purchase the bus barn. The consensus was, what's the number? Kind of the ball is in his court. I will say that publicly, there are reservations about doing that. One would be that we would lock that location to Cobuson. If they purchased it, if we, in 5 years, decided to change busing companies, where we're gonna put them. It's probably one of the major concerns.
What is the bus barn? Like a garage or?
It's the shop.
Right by the middle school.
Right across from the AFE.
Yeah.
So up until 11 years ago or so, we owned our own buses. And then at that time, the decision was made to sell the buses in third-party contract. So at that time, we've been leasing, which is the next item on the agenda, the former bus barn with district-owned buses to Cobuson.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. 5.3, consideration and action on the Cobuson lease agreement. We did not take any action, but we did discuss it. If Mr. Cobuson's watching, the starting bid is $6,000 a month rent. That we will be looking at. Some other issues that were brought up were contractual issues, just they were a little squishy.
Mushy.
Mushy, I believe, was the technical.
Mushy is the
technical term that we utilized tonight.
Originated out of the committee. And we need to firm up some language in that contract to better protect the district because it is a third-party entity that is renting a facility from us. We obviously don't want to incur additional cost as a district, whether it's a liability claim or, something else. We have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. That's what we're going to do. So we have made those recommendations to Nikki, and I know that she is going to rock it out of the park. As far as the negotiations go, for many of you that already know that we did approve the busing contract, this is something totally different. This is just the facility itself. The last time that this was actually negotiated was about a dozen years ago, and they're only paying $1,000 a month. So we got a lot of work to do on that one.
Question. So I'm just trying to make sure that I understand it. So they're wanting to purchase the bus barn, but we're gonna charge them rent instead? Is it the same facility?
So there's two essentially proposals. One, Cobuson wants to outright buy the bus barn, so we wouldn't be renting it from us if he bought the facility.
Correct, okay, got it.
The other option is what we have right now. We rent that facility to him for $1,000 a month, which is.
That's cheap.
That's more than cheap. And the money that we spend to maintain that facility, we're barely breaking even. So that being said, it's time to negotiate the contract, just like we negotiated in good faith with him. For the busing contract, we expect the same from him on the facility. So. That's it. Any other questions?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Jeff. All right. We have come to 6, adjournment. Any objection to adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.